So Grandpa used to say, "That's going to learn you, boy. That's going to learn you." He also used to say, "You want me to learn you something?" Grandpa was a wise guy, truly, had a lot of wisdom. He was only about 5'2". He had eyebrows that stuck out about 4 inches. He looked like a weeble that wobbled, combined with Gandalf. My name is Mr. 2020. You are listening to the Power of Imagination podcast. Did you just imagine what a weeble or what a Gandalf looked like? I'm curious, let me know. Because that's how fast you actually are. So I had a lovely fella today on the Facebooks say, "I love the way you teach." And I sent him a friend request right after I saw his photo. God, talk about gorgeous. You see, I'm here to learn you something, and I'm a lifelong learner. I did okay in school. I didn't do much of the homeworks. I struggled with doing homeworks. I didn't understand, why should I do this for a couple hours? After being in school for a couple hours, I already learned this shit. They said it, I processed it, I can do it. Why am I wasting my time, my life, my childhood doing this, listening to the Catholic nuns? You see, it seems to me a lot of education is about them telling you what to think. Some of it may be devoted to inviting you to think. Almost none of it is devoted to inviting you to notice things differently. And so there's a post on the Facebooks in our group, and it goes how it goes. And I say, "Hey, check this out. Notice this? Did you notice that? And hey, did you notice this?" Because I want them to notice almost anytime somebody says, "How do I speed it up?" They don't notice that they're imagining it slow. Oh, if they were running my brain for an hour or for even half an hour, I'd be exploring with them, how do you do that? Because I want to know the process in which they imagine up things slow, effectively. Because we could take that process and use that to optimize a whole bunch of other things. But most importantly, once you're aware of it, you can stop it. My new car. I got a new used car. It's a classic Mercedes-Benz CLK. I absolutely adore it. I love it. And when I leave the emergency brake on, it gives me all kind of warning bells. Right, as I back the car up, ding, 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 bum, 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 look at this. And I go, wow, ding, 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 bum, 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 look at this. What does that mean? And I go, all right. Yeah, pull that little lever, emergency brake comes off. I don't burn my brakes up. In other words, I don't slow down my car on the way to the pool in a way that's expensive. And slowing yourself down on the way to the pool is always expensive. And a lot of the times we slow things down by focusing on emergencies, like what's going to happen if it doesn't happen in time, instead of focusing on what we call emergence. An emergent is something like the state of happy, loving teacher, happy, loving puppy dad, happy, loving husband. Those three identities, they're emergents. They stick around for a while. They grow, they morph, they change, they direct all my activities. Write this down. Your activities determine nothing. Your activities determine nothing. What determines your activities is your identity. Happy, loving husband does what happy, loving husband does. You know what he did this morning? He made her coffee. Just for fun. He also ranted around her because he was in a ranty kind of mood, and he apologized, and she said no problem. In other words, she listened. She gave me caring when I needed to just do some sharing. And then I wrote some awesome shit that's going to bless the world. From the state of happy, loving teacher, had me do the writing. Meanwhile, so your identities determine your activities. Your identities, well, you know what they do? They precede all the other change in your life. Include not just what your body does, but also what your mind does. Your mind does mental activity. Your emotions do emotional activity. And all that's based on your identity. Because I got to tell you something. The identity of happy, loving learner Let's call it that, because I'm a lifelong learner and I'll learn you something. I just might invite you to see the world differently. On the other hand, there's people that live from the state of parrot. Right? People parrot people, and they parrot what they hear people saying. And it's always gloom and doom. Have you noticed that? Or it's a cat video. Something to make you feel like shit and something to make you feel good since you felt like shit. But nothing that really matters because it doesn't invite you to experience the world through a set of new eyes. If you got gold today. My name is Mr. 2020. You've been listening to the Power of Imagination podcast. I invite you to identitybasedmanifesting.com. It's all about identity because that's what all your manifesting is based within. Some people struggle with this, some people soar. And if you're trying to change your activities or change the things before changing you, now here's the thing. A lot of people, they do quote Neville about this, but they don't give you any practical and tactical. Have you noticed what we did today? Listen to this one again. I gave you some practical and tactical. If you notice how you imagine things slow, you'll stop. And if you notice how you imagine things slow, you can actually take that process and turn it into how to let things happen quickly. Notice I didn't say make things happen quickly. Because everything happens with perfect divine timing. Unless you leave that emergency brake on. You don't need to settle for emergencies. You could become the emergent that has the adventure of a lifetime. So now let's imagine up something yummy as we go into the silence. Identity-based manifesting.com. We do a lot of cool shit here. We have a lot of fun. And I invite you to dance your dance by singing your song, by choosing who you get to be in the world, not by trying to change your circumstances. Anyway, Neville Goddard said, all that you do and all that befalls you comes from something. And I'm inviting you, identitybasedmanifesting.com. Go see what's all in that pack. It's massively cool. And a tremendous game changer. See ya.